Kiss, Phoenix, Arizona. Goodbye. Hey everybody, Scott Walters, buckle up, strap in. We got a hard hitting pull, no punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows or sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today. Welcome to the show. I hope everybody's doing great. So let's jump back on the real estate merry-go-round as we examine the good, the bad, and maybe a little bit of the ugly.
No, Scott, not the ugly. Only examine rainbows and sunshine.
No. Somebody's got to read between the lines and look between the economic cracks. Phoenix, Arizona. Welcome to the swimming pool. Today we're going to take a look at a listing, and it's not all rainbows and sunshine. You know, we have a lot of new players that decided to join this real estate downturn. In the last downturn, the Phoenixes, the Vegases, we had a lot of, even Washington State, a lot of areas I saw firsthand taking big haircuts. Even California. I mean, a lot of places. It was the majority of the country experienced heavy price reductions in their real estate, and there was a major housing crisis, and the government tried to intervene, offering bailout programs, but it didn't work, and the banks took bailouts, and then they abused those. I mean, it's all coming back. But the scary part about this one is that there's a lot of states that didn't get hit as hard in the last bubble that are going to get hit hard in this one. Why? Of course I'm going to tell you. Because of the pandemic. A lot of people wanted to leave their red or blue state and find refuge somewhere else where they felt like they could live a better, higher quality of life. But unfortunately, local economies wouldn't support the run-ups that the real estate incurred. In fact, that's pretty much the case nationwide as well. But see, everybody had tunnel vision. And as a trained salesman, trained in the psychology of sales, psychology of people, I know once you make up your mind to buy, you're buying, even if the fundamentals aren't there. And that's why for me, personally, I'm always going to help you guys and say, hey, listen, and we're going to have a conversation, see what our goals are and this and that. How long is this our forever home? What's our budget? But if, I want to see you, I don't want you to go through what I went through in the 2008 era. I want to make sure that you can afford your home. And if something happens to you, your income or anything, renter goes in, the property can stand on its own 2 feet and actually provide a cash flow for you. So if you can't afford your payment anymore, we stick a renter in there. They do it for you. Easy. Easy. Now, a lot of agents are going to offer that advice because they're going to limit themselves in sales because a lot of houses don't pencil out. That's where I come in. We're going to kick the tires, shake the trees, and offend a few sellers. Here's our offer. You got one better than that? Great. No problem. We're on to the next. Insanity. And a lot of agents, they got spoiled. They're like, oh, unless they're ready to buy all cash and get into a bidding war. And we're going to look at a property today that an agent did exactly that. Let their client just get into a bidding war. And now that client's in big, bad, ugly trouble potentially. Let's jump over to today's featured listing. Then we're going to meet back here and wrap it up. Let's get started. Friends, buckle up, strap in, roll up your windows, lock your doors, maybe even put on an economic face mask if you can find one. Let's bring up today's Phoenix crash map. Everything on your screen is going through the kiss of death, price reductions. Now let's tour today's featured property. One thing we do not have here is curb appeal. The second thing we see is we are in fact occupied, and anytime an occupied home hits the market, it needs to show like a staged home if you're going to put it at the top of its price range. And even staged homes right now in this market cannot come on the market at the top of its price range. Why, you ask? Well, of course I'm going to tell you, because we're in a declining market. If your house doesn't show well, there's only one thing that'll fix that, and it's price. Let's go ahead and see if they priced right or wrong. And our featured property is currently stuck on the market at $354,000 after just going through a whopping $1,000 price cut. Are you kidding me? This is offensive. $1,000 price cut, that's going to do absolutely nothing for our seller. Let's keep looking. Now let's read between the lines and look between the cracks and see how much interest our featured property is getting. And as we can see, we've currently been on the market for approximately a month with 35 saves. In the height of the euphoria, this would have been 1,035 saves, even as poorly as it shows, and probably enticed bidding wars. That is absolutely absurd to me. But one thing I'm looking at here is this thing is not getting a lot of interest, and our $1,000 price reduction surely isn't going to help it. Let's keep looking. Another thing we see here is Zillow is letting you know that you can tour with a buyer's agent, either in person or a video chat. And let me just explain one thing to you. If you were to click either of these options, what they would do is be selling that click to a random agent. It's not like an agent is assigned to the property. It's whoever is willing to pay for that click. That's in fact what Zillow does. They basically sell clicks, but they make it look very enticing. And wait, there's more. If we were silly enough, which we're not, to give them their stuck on the market price, our approximate cost to carry would be around $2,131 per month, just for mortgage, tax, and insurance, not other related costs. This property, my guess, would not rent for nearly $2,200 a month. This is probably a $1,400 a month rental, if I had to guess. So for me, we'd have to confirm that, and our offer would actually reflect what its rent range is. So that's something you always want your agent to do. Let's keep looking. Here we go. Zillow's up to it again. They are actually going to tell you what you should actually offer on this property. As we can see here, they're suggesting a $346,000 offer price would be strong. This is based on an algorithm. It doesn't know that the place is not staged. It doesn't know how it shows. It doesn't know any of that. So that's why you always want to make sure you're well trained on reading between the lines and looking between the cracks so we can get a temperature check. Algorithm is not the way you want to base your offer. In fact, this just shows us we're in a declining market because they're not saying come in and offer over asking price, full asking price, where a lot of areas, in fact, that's what Zillow's recommending. But Phoenix is definitely not one of them. Let's keep looking. There's a little more. Here we go, the nitty gritty, the tail and the tape. As we can see, our property currently sits stuck on the market after their $1,000 price reduction, token price reduction at $354,000. We can also see that they bought it for $360,000 after apparently being in a bidding war to get it, as it was originally priced at $335,000. Our property's upside down as it sits. After we pay commissions and fees, they're going to be even further underwater. They're trying to get out from this, take a little bit of a haircut before it's a bloodbath. Let's get back to the studio and wrap this one up. All right, friends, welcome back. And there you go. So as we can see, this is an upside down property. It's no longer worth what they paid, and they're running for the exits, and they're going to take a loss. They are going to take a hit because after they pay their fees and the commissions, seller pays, they're going to lose money on this deal. They bought at the height. They bought at the height of the market. And even for us, we saw what our cost to carry was. That our cost to carry, that's going to dictate what type of offer we're going to make. Standard amount down, today's interest rate, is my cost to carry under its rent range. That's all I need to know. Show me that house, and maybe I'll write them an offer. This person probably didn't do that. The bigger problem is this, friends. We're at the front end, but we're starting to see it, right? I've reported on this 1,000,001 times, especially when I turn on this camera. As a licensed realtor, I was just like, hey, I'm a licensed realtor, and what I'm seeing ain't passing the smell test. This is market manipulation, a casino climate, a slot machine that continues to pay out. But we all know the casino always wins. And that's what happened with this bamboozle. Artificially low rates, suppressed inventory, upward pressure, unsustainable. Simple as that. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this one out. So, like I said, I mean, a lot of homes right now are experiencing what this home is. And they're stuck on the market, chasing the market, and they don't show that great. And final thoughts. I come to you as a friend, as a content creator, as a real estate guy that wants to see you not only win in real estate, win in life. Understand the waters you're swimming in now. They're shark infested. Phoenix, America, globe. Welcome to the swimming pool. A lot of governments overheated their housing market, but none were gross offenders like the U.S. government. This was government overreach. They knew what they were doing, and if not, they were asleep at the wheel. Somebody dropped the ball. Interest rates should have been risen the second the market started to exhibit bubble behavior. Somebody in office should have said, whoa, slow down. We need to raise rates because the market, the housing market, the biggest asset class on planet Earth, is exhibiting bubble behavior. If we lose it, we're going to lose everything when we thrust it into a deep cycle recession. Was this on purpose? or an accident. Doesn't really matter because we're going to continue to get forward thinking, critical thinking. And I'm going to be here to blow the lid off it every step of the way because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you would be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, gonna love the next video, and there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. God bless. I'll see you on the next video.